We are a healthy staff, which is the good news. We have survived without any real incident.
It helps that we have multiple buildings.
Yeah.
So we've already got built-in isolation. And the only person on the staff that actually has had the disease is this one, because she was exposed to her brother who got it very early on. She self-isolated, she stayed away from the rest of us, and no one else has gotten sick. There have been people who've gotten tested because they thought they might be, but for the most part, everybody's doing really, really well here.
So what we did
Right.
was we concentrated on what we could offer. And in that we have an extensive archive that most of which is online. And we did have, we have over 60 videos that are available on our YouTube channel and through our website. So our marketing director, Eliza Burlingame, did an extraordinary job creating these history at home emails each month. So, from March 12th, when we shut down and had to cancel, programs that were scheduled for the next week with Dr. Dwayne Vandenbush, we had to cancel that one right away. We began to launch things online and see what we could put up for people to be looking at and playing with. And the whole genealogy and looking into your ancestry and looking through our photo archive, that's all available online for the majority. And then there is also the opportunity to call in and speak with archivists and do research, so that's still available. And then as a program team, we decided what we could do was offer walking tours outside, limited to 6 people per tour, masked, obviously. And
reservations only, so right. We had complete control over.
So Mike wrote a brand new tour for this summer on the Midland Rail Bed, and I began doing a tour up in Independence once a week. We did actually mount a new exhibit here at the Wheeler-Stallard Museum.
We're in it.
And yeah, we're standing in front of the 1970s panel of Decade by Decade, Aspen Revealed. The good thing about a museum is we're don't touch by kind of design. And so it becomes a rather, fairly safe environment. It is distanced. We limit the number of people that are here. You do have to wear your masks.
There are footprints on the floor where people can stand to stay distanced at each exhibit. It's a very compartmentalized exhibit to begin with. It's decade by decade, 11 decades, 1870s to the 1970s. So it's really easy for people to stand in front of one part of the exhibit and not cause any distancing issues with other people. So it's certainly pertinent and interesting. It's unusual in that 2 of the first deaths from the 1918 flu were 2 Aspen soldiers at Fort Riley in Kansas. The flu originated in the United States, despite it being called the Spanish flu. And then once the soldiers came back from war, some of them brought the virus with them. Aspen and the other towns in the valley tried to quarantine, but it was challenging. And some cities did better jobs than others. Right.
And the fatality rates in that epidemic at that time with the medications that they had available, which aren't what we have, the mortality rate was much higher. By the end of 1918, 7% of the Aspen population had died compared to a national 4% rate. Actually, the Aspen Democrat reported in November of 1918 that there had been 47 deaths in just 21 days. So it was much more fatal than what we're experiencing here in this valley with this epidemic. But they faced the same, mask restrictions, arguments over the wearing of the masks, and the isolation piece of it. The first thing we wrote down was an audience when we were looking at these questions.
Especially, our background. Right. We live to be up in front of an audience. So that will be, one of our staples is a play that we do called A Briefly Complete History of Aspen. And we can't do it right now. And I miss that.
I'm very careful to be much further away from people than I would normally be. So I'm looking forward to having my space invaded. Does that sound right?
Yeah.